Good evening, YouTube. Black is the new green. Yes, that's right. I'm back with some more greenskins action with black orcs, because why not? So I came up against Warriors of Chaos again, and I was like, I don't want to fall to a fear build, so I brought something slightly different. I brought Azhag the Slaughterer, you know, a little bit different army here with some very specifically intended units. Let's see, real quick, I'm going to put it into slow motion so you all can see what's going to happen. My opponent forward deploys 2 Marauder Horsemasters, which are really close to my Doom Diver, so I was like, oh crappy. So we're gonna have to take care of those. My little goon squad here is a couple of big bosses helping to protect Azhag the Slaughterer, who has the Lore of Death. He's got a nasty Skulker here for extra armor piercing, but also for the smoke bomb, so I can take away 70% of the charge of any unit that's close enough, and then a giant to help dish out extra damage to anything that lands. Broken Tusk Mob, 2 big uns in the back line, 3 black orcs making up the front line, and the Rusty Arrows here to help poison and armor sunder units as necessary, and also to help keep, you know, stuff like this back. So see, my opponent pushes in because he thinks, he doesn't really have anything to stop this, but as soon as I open up with the Rusty Arrows and take down a significant number of hit points, it's going to force him back, which is good because I would have lost my Doom Diver very, very quickly. And the Doom Diver is what's going to help me here because it's going to force Chaos to come to me, and I'm going to be able to weaken up their troops a little bit. Not super worried about these Marauder Horsemasters. They don't have a lot of armor piercing, so they're not going to cause a huge amount of damage as long as I can keep them away from key units. They'll be kind of an itchy nuisance here to the black orcs, but it won't be that bad. The big uns would not like it near as much as the black orcs because they have about half the armor, a little less than half the armor. So yeah, I'm just going to use my Rusty Arrows and the Broken Tusk Mob to keep these guys out away. And let's check out the Chaos army. Up front he's got 3 Chaos Marauders. And then he's backing them up with Aspiring Champions for leadership. There's also a Exalted Hero in their midst, and he's just on foot here. No special abilities on him. Nope, no special abilities. Forsaken on each flank, I like that too. Oh, there's 3 Aspiring Champions, my bad. That's a lot of Aspiring Champions. One or 2 would have been fine for this formation, because if you look, well, you can't see it on here because it's not my army, but they have a radius that's something like this, and maybe a little bit wider. So, I mean, these guys would be casting like a leadership buff on most of these units based on the way that they're out there. So the rest of the Aspiring Champions are probably a bit of a waste. I don't know, though. They're not necessarily a bad choice. Like, they're a pretty decent unit. They can Vanguard deploy? I didn't know. That's pretty cool. Check it out. He's casting a Fireball. I don't know what his target was. Looks like it was Azhag. Azhag's probably low armor. His Fireball actually landed right on top of my Doom Diver and blew up one of the pieces. And it didn't really do a ton of damage to Azhag because he has 70 armor. That's too much for a Fireball to really be effective. And it kind of needs to come straight down at them, so he should have had his Fire Sorcerer on a Manticore. Honestly surprised not to see a flying build here from Chaos because flyers are effective, and that's what I was planning for. I wanted his flyers to swoop in on Azhag. I was going to hit him with the Smoke Bomb, and then the combination of the Giant and the 2 big bosses with their poison, I was going to just trap him on the ground and smack him down with the Tusk Mob, the Giant, and everything else, and put a big beating, even have the Rusty Arrows to tear down their armor. So basically it was get him on the ground and murder him was the idea. Alright, I'm going to bring in the Black Orcs here. We're going to go headlong into these Chaos Marauders. Not concerned about them at all. The Forsaken are going to make their way to the flanks. They will be a pretty good match for my big uns. It's going to be a tough match. Again, I'm just trying to keep his Marauder Horsemen at bay. Kolek is going to want to punch through here, so you're going to see him get to moving. He drops some magical lightning back here in my Skulkers. Not going to do a whole lot at the moment. I go ahead and do the Wah to boost up my melee attack, and I'm going to start using some magic from Azhag here soon too. I believe here at any moment I'm going to bring in Aspect of Dread Knight, which is going to make my guys cause fear and terror, because I want to try and break through the main portion of the Chaos line relatively quick. I'm able to get Kolek back here with the Broken Tusk Mob and then pull the Rusty Arrows out. This is going to force his Marauders to chase over here instead of supporting the Tusk Mob, who's doing quite well versus Kolek right now because of the anti-large bonus. They're putting a lot of damage on him. You can now see the Aspect of Dread Knight is in effect, and I used, I believe I used Doom and Darkness, or at least I tried to. I may have miscast it, but anyway, it breaks some of the Chaos units, so you can see that some of their units fleeing away at a key moment, which kind of does allow me to punch through the middle of the Chaos line, though the fight's far from over. The Tusk Mob gets broken. Ooh. And anyway, I'm going to chase Kolek with these big uns. Kolek's going to come after my leadership at this point. actually, he just put a huge smackdown on that giant. That was pretty impressive. And then, of course, the cascading fire cloak coming in here is helping Chaos cause an extensive amount of damage. My giant's getting hammered by Kolek, but Kolek's kind of getting stuck up here, and it's not really where he wants to be. He's going to be getting picked at by my big boss, and then the big uns here are going to try and trap him, and then the Tusk Mob is going to come in and really trap him. And as he tries to flee, I'm going to hit him with a Spirit Leech here in a moment to try and finish him off because he's getting close to death. So you can see that Spirit Leech incoming at this point. So Kolek is now going to be finished, though the fight's fairly close. There's still a lot of Chaos units on the battlefield. Some of their guys that routed are still sitting in the back, which is good for me. The Exalted Hero gets whacked as well, which is good for me. Kolek died here, trying to flee away from my Goblin Big Boss. So the Goblin Big Boss bit Kolek on the haunches and brought him down. And now we just got a big fight over here. Now Azhag's getting pretty weak from all the overcasting of his spells. So that's definitely not doing him any good. Azhag does have a pretty sweet poison effect, though, that I have. It's a special item that he's using, so he should be imbuing, yeah, you can see there, a pretty significant poison effect onto the units that he's fighting, so it's pretty helpful for me. So anybody he's hitting is getting that poison effect. Again, that was meant to help against flyers and stuff, too, to help keep them on the ground. The Broken Tusk Mob has done a big job here because they pulled down most of Kolek's health, so they were key players here. I was able to keep the Forsaken off the flanks, and the Black Orcs here honestly just tanking it out. They're immune to psychology, they're very tough. Good leadership, solid armor, lots of damage, good charge, and they are just a tough unit. You can see Azhag here trying to kind of break free, but at that point he kind of touches a unit wrong and then routes. And then one of my big bosses, I've already used the potion here, so I can't save him, but my other big boss is alive and well. Let's see, where's he at? Here he is swinging around, because I saw the Fire Sorcerer picking up chase on Azhag, and I didn't want the penalty from having Azhag die. So you can see the Fire Sorcerer leaning in, wanting to kill Azhag. He does get a hit on him, but it doesn't kill Azhag, and then my big boss is able to push the Fire Sorcerer away and chase it off. So I'm not going to get a leadership penalty from having lost Azhag, and that's huge here. With as tight as this battle was, that penalty could have helped Chaos, but because Chaos has lost its leadership, I'm now flogging them pretty hard. You can see the Fire Sorcerer here just trying to stay away from my my Goblin Big Boss, and it's not going to work. The Goblin Big Boss is just too quick. It's got pretty solid speed at 78. Let's see what the speed is here. Yeah, and he's getting poisoned too, so the Fire Sorcerer is going to really struggle. Now, at this point, he's going to bring his Horse Masters after Azhag, and it's like, yeah, that's a problem. But they're not throwing their, well, one unit was throwing their javelins in the right direction, but the Chaos Army broke at the same moment. They were all fleeing. So I went ahead and just pushed on ahead, chased their units. It caused them to rout, which is going to force a chain rout. Check it out. Azhag survives with 59 hit points. There was a couple of spears in the air that may have killed him, but instead a Pyrrhic victory. So fun battle. I don't know whether I was glad or not that my opponent didn't bring flyers. I guess I probably am glad. I'm not sure how it would have worked out, but I don't know. With the Broken Tusk Mob, the Skulkers to ruin their charge and everything else, I mean, it is possible that could have worked out. I'd still like to get a chance to test that Smoke Bomb to ruin the flyer units, because the Skulkers are also a unit that are hidden until mostly the last second. The flyers have to get pretty close before they're going to spot them, so your opponent may not know exactly what you're up to. They may just see that little spot and think, I can come down there. But I mean, between the Giant and the Skulkers and everything else, it probably wouldn't have been a good place for flyers to land. I could be wrong. But yeah, and then I was going to cast the Aspect of Dread Knight on my units, which temporarily gives them the ability to cause terror, which I believe should make my own men immune to terror. So that was part of the idea behind that. Like I said, not sure if it would have worked out. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. It was a fun battle. I like messing with the greenskins, so it gave me a chance to practice up against Chaos. Still very close, so I think I need to perfect my art of greenskin versus Chaos and kind of keep working it out so I can get a little bit more convincing victories, but it worked out that time. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I appreciate y'all joining. You're fantastic viewers. Appreciate all of those of you who subscribe and watch and are commenting, enjoying. Really appreciate it. I get lots of support, and it's very much appreciated. I appreciate MSI for sponsoring this build that I'm recording with, helping me to bring you quality videos, hopefully on a daily basis. And I will see you all in the next one. HeirofCarthage out.